Hey folks, this is Tom at Orbit City Bikes, and this is our March video newsletter. For this newsletter, we're just going to tell you about a couple products, and we're going to tell you a little bit how we got to where we are today. So one of the products I want to tell you about is last year's best-selling bike from our best-selling brand is now $500 off. So that's a really good deal. I can't advertise exactly what it is because it's officially not until April 1st, but you can get it today here at Orbit City Bikes. So come on in, see what that is, see if it's something you want, and we'll help you out with that great deal of $500 off. And then over my left shoulder is our Aero Wear rain and safety wear. And Aero Wear means there's an arrow that tells cars where to go, which is around you so that they don't go into you. So a lot of our customers are worried about safety, and that's why we brought in the Aero Wear. And also, as most of you know, Columbus is very rainy, so it's also rain wear. They also have lighter duty stuff. It starts at $20 for a safety vest. So that's a really good deal. So let's talk a little bit about how we got to where we are today. Now, I had a bicycle that unfortunately got stolen, and I'd been riding it a lot. And one of my concerns was that I was starting to have trouble going up hills. My knees were hurting. It just hurt to push on those pedals that hard. And so instead of just going out and buying another bike, I love that bike, I decided to do some research on the internet way back then when it was slow as can be. But, you know, I had the evenings and I found electric bikes. They weren't very good back then. And some of them weren't even real bicycles. They didn't have pedals. But I saw the potential. And I started thinking, if I could do this in the future, I'd love to. And then a few years later, I built my first electric bike, and it had a car battery on the back, so it was only 12 volt. It had a 500-watt hub motor in the front wheel that was a direct drive. It was all heavy and stuff. Boy, was it fun. We had a blast with that thing, and then a little later, I replaced that with a Schwinn electric bike that I bought used. And that was a little more sophisticated. That one had pedal assist. The first one was throttle only. The second one was pedal assist only. It was a European spec bike. It didn't go as fast as our bikes today go. But it really let me know how easy it was to ride with pedal assist. And I had that bike for quite some time, and pretty much until the battery died. And then, you know, the business plan happened and the opportunity came and we opened Orbit City Bikes, and that was in 2013. And here we are in 2020, still going strong. We're going into our 7th season, and the bikes are not what we sold before. They're totally different. You know, originally, most of the bikes we sold had a throttle only. They didn't even have pedal assist. We had a brand that had pedal assist. We had one brand that didn't have throttle, but it was so expensive that most people didn't want to invest in that at that time. So we've really advanced. The motors are advanced, the sensors are advanced, and now you get on an electric bike and it feels like you're riding a bike. You just feel like you can move a lot easier. You don't have to push as hard, but you still have to do, you know, you still have to pedal. And that's great. We still have bikes that have throttles, but they all have pedal assist. So you have that choice. So if you're going up a hill and you need a little more help, there's always that throttle there to help get you up that hill. So who are electric bikes for? Well, I think number one, commuters. So someone that commutes on a bicycle often can get to work faster than their coworkers that are driving and parking and all that stuff. But you add the electric to it, you can get there a little faster, so you might beat them to work. And then when you get there, bicycle parking is usually right there at your building. And then you've had all this fresh air and some light exercise, but not enough to get you all sweaty. So you feel good when you go into work, you start your day off right. Not only that, you might have seen some beautiful birds or squirrels or deer on the way to work if you're lucky enough to ride down a bike path. So that's one of the great uses. Another is us old people, the ones with the joint problems. We don't have the muscle strength we used to have. Well, for us, an electric bike allows us to ride a bike again. So we may be commuting, but we may also be just going out and enjoying a ride. I don't know about you, I'm not a big one for crowds, but I can go out and ride this bike any day and not worry about a crowd. But I often go on rides also with groups. It's usually not a crowd, it's a group. And I can ride anywhere. I can sit at the back of the group and not have to be in the midst of things where I'm comfortable. So there's a lot of ways you can use these bikes. So Ohio passed the Ohio eBike law, and they have 3 classes of bikes. They have class 1 bikes, and those are the ones that have the pedal assist, where you turn the pedals for the bike to go, and they go up to 20 miles an hour. Those are considered just like a bicycle in the state of Ohio. And then there's the class 2 bikes, and those have a throttle. In our store, they also all have pedal assist. And those bikes are considered in Ohio, when they go up to 20 miles an hour, to be just a bicycle. So class 1 and class 2 allowed anywhere a bicycle's allowed, except for under power on sidewalks. And then there's class 3. And class 3 is for those of you that want to go faster. Class 3 goes up to 28 miles an hour, which is pretty darn fast on a bicycle. And it's going to require you to be at least 16 years old and wear a helmet. And you can't take it on most trails, but you can ride it in the bike lane and the car lanes, and you can go pretty darn fast. It can be a lot of fun, but it also can be a great way to get to work fast. And especially if you have a little further commute, that can make that commute shorter because you're going faster. And again, when you're commuting, you arrive all fresh. So that's a little story about how the bikes have come where we are. And then Orbit City, we curate the bikes that we carry. We've got the step through for easy entry. We've got trail bikes. We've got cruiser styles. We've got trikes, recumbent trikes. I'm going to look around and see if I'm missing any fat tire bikes. You guys have seen those on the internet probably. So we've got a large selection of bikes. We can help you get on the right bike at the right price for you today. So come on into Orbit City Bikes and enjoy an e-bike ride.